want to move POV Sports. My vision is just to move it into the next round with analytics and just giving you different sports that people don't talk about.
Don't nobody come to your house and try to take food off your plate. No. Ball out on 3. 1, 2, 3. Ball out. 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 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Bring it down.
It's Show's Radio Live. The POV Sports Show.
I want to welcome you guys to another taping here of the POV Sports Show. I want to thank my man Donio Phoenix again for the forum to come and bring you sports on a weekly basis here. I want to welcome Jermaine Murray. He's the former Delaware State guard, youth and high school basketball coach, and co-host of Round Ball Rap Basketball. He's going to be with us today giving his input on various topics, and we just wanted to welcome him to the show and tell him thank you for taking out the time and being a part of the show today.
Thanks for having me, fellas. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, man. Thank you. I want to jump right into basketball. I know you're a Spurs fan from what Dondre told me, so I want to just jump right in. Biggest news for the Spurs this offseason was the retirement of the greatest power forward ever, Tim Duncan. Just wanted to know your opinion on what you think the Spurs are going to be like without him, and the additions of having adding Pau Gasol and David Lee. What do you think that does for the team as a whole, losing such a great player?
I mean, you just said it, man. You hit it right on the head. In my opinion, one of the best power forwards to ever lace him up, man. And to lose Timmy, man, it's hurtful. I ain't no other way around it. I mean, you know, Father Time is undefeated, without a doubt. But losing that big of a force in our organization, man, is hurtful. It really is. Ain't no way around it. But you kind of, if you watch basketball, you kind of see the end was kind of coming. You know, he just couldn't really get up the floor or get off a good shot without it being contested or something like that. So you kind of see the end was kind of near, but even though you knew it was coming, it still hurts that it came.
That's true. I was thinking, I saw him during the season, and I watched a few games where he couldn't get a shot off on athletic bigs anymore. He used to take them guys and, like, pivot and give them the footwork was so good. The footwork had even started to look sloppy at times with him. And I was like, as I would watch him, I was like, man, this ain't the Tim. And I know, you know, Father Time undefeated. And I kept saying the way the Spurs are trying to play now is they're trying to move the ball. They're trying to play faster. And his style isn't that way anymore. And I was saying bringing in LaMarcus Aldridge, it's just seamless how the Spurs were smart enough to bring in a guy like that for the transition. Him and Kawhi Leonard just fall right into the next roles of leaders of that team. It's just amazing the way they do things. Amazing. It's amazing.
You're absolutely right. You absolutely right, man. You kind of see Timmy starting to be more of a mentor to LaMarcus Aldridge than anything, because he knew his time was about to come short, and like David Robinson did him, he passed the torch to D-Rob, passed it to him. And now it was time for Timmy to pass it to LaMarcus and Kawhi. So you kind of see him becoming more of a mentor type of guy and let him know this is going to be his team. So you're absolutely right, though. You're absolutely right, buddy.
Yeah. All right, I want to ask, as far as you know, what happened with the Warriors on the 4th of July, 11:30 Eastern Time, 8:30 Pacific Time. The second best player in the world, Kevin Durant, decides to join the Warriors on a 2-year deal with a 1-year opt-out. What do you think? Do you think the Spurs have what it takes to challenge them? Do you think the Durant addition pretty much makes the Warriors the onslaught favorite, and for them to lose in the West would take a miracle? Or do you really believe the Spurs have enough to challenge the Warriors, in your opinion?
Man, to be honest, my heart is telling me that we can play with anybody on any given day, on any given court, just roll the ball out there. But my head is telling me, man, these boys are loaded. And I just don't feel like we got enough firepower right now to really compete. We got to put Tony Parker's kind of on his last leg, Ginobili kind of, on his last. You know what LaMarcus and Kawhi gonna give you. I just don't feel as though we got enough. Now, we're going to be in the games. I don't think it's going to be a point where, we're not going to be in the same conversation. But 7 games with these boys, man, it's going to be tough for me to say, wholeheartedly, yeah, we can beat these boys. with the addition of KD, man, you didn't really lose nobody. But I mean, Harrison Barnes is a good player, but I think if you tell me that we can lose Harrison Barnes and we'll get Kevin Durant, I think most people would take that any day of the week. So I just feel as though these boys are absolutely loaded, and the only people that can beat them is them. Honestly, that's again, my heart telling me we can play with anybody, but my head is like, man, these boys are just absolutely loaded, man, just absolutely loaded.
I couldn't agree more. I think the Spurs have the pedigree, the coaching of Pop will always keep them around. I just think,
absolutely.
I think where they're going to lose the series is the backcourt. Curry and Thompson abused Ginobili and Parker and Danny Green in the 4 games they played this year. The one game the Spurs won was the Warriors coming off a back-to-back, playing a tough Dallas team the night before, and the Spurs only beat them by 8 in San Antonio. The other 3 were pretty much blowouts. So the Warriors kind of, it was a Steph Curry factor in the other 3. He flat out, there was nothing Tony Parker or Patty Mills could do to stay in front of him. Then they put Danny Green on him, but then that takes away your other guy that can guard Klay Thompson. Then they had to move Kawhi to Klay, and then Harrison Barnes started hitting shots. So it was like it was a trickle-down effect. They didn't have enough wing defenders for all. Now you add a 6'10" monster that can do everything. It just makes it that Kawhi's going to have to guard him. Nobody else can guard him. So he's going to have Kawhi, meaning you're going to have Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Curry pretty much running free. Then you still got Iguodala and Livingston to deal with off that bench.
Yep,
that's what people don't realize. They didn't lose their 2 best bench guys. They let guys go, but the key cogs in their bench are Livingston at the backup point because of Curry's health issues in the past, and Iguodala being able to do another Draymond Green impression and give you everything he does. That's why they're going to be so tough. I think they're going to be really hard to beat. I just think their rebound and their defense could be a little suspect. But they tried it. I saw they added JaVale McGee yesterday, and he's got a chance to make the team in camp. And I think with that kind of team, you get a guy with that athleticism, that ability to protect the rim, and won't have to do nothing but just stay around the rim and get putbacks and easy layups because there's going to be so much attention on the other 4 guys. He might make the team. It'd be a real factor for them. You know what I mean? So, guys like that have been enigmas go to a team like that, they usually turn out to be pretty good because they're on a team where they're not the focal point of anything. They're just another big body that does things you need them to do. So
that's it. Just stand around the rim, protect the rim, give me some rebounds, and give me some blocks. We got the scoring already handled, so all you got to do is guard the next opposing player's big man and take him away. That's it. So I totally agree. And getting back to that Sean Livingston thing, he's a tall point guard that just can shoot over anybody that we really got that can guard him. Parker, Ginobili, he just takes you on the block and just shoots right over top of you. And for us, once Kawhi Leonard can only guard one person, man, and everybody else is just kind of just doing their own thing. We got one really stopper, and that's Kawhi, and he can't guard everybody because if he does, it's taken away from his offense, and we've seen that what happened during the OKC series. We put him on Westbrook, Durant went crazy. We put him on Durant, Westbrook went crazy. So he can only guard one person, and I feel as though with us, man, them boys just got too much firepower for us to try to outscore them or do something of that nature. So I totally agree with what you were saying, homie. I totally agree.
Totally agree with that. That's a real good, valid point about him being the best. To me, he's the best defender in the NBA one-on-one. Him and Draymond Green are the top 2 one-on-one perimeter around the rim. They guard you, like no one else. But Draymond Green doesn't have to do so much other stuff. He can focus on just being a great defender and making the right passes. They need Kawhi to get you 22, 23, and then hold the best player on the other team to 25 almost nice because most of the time he's guarding an elite wing guy that's averaging 25. So you ask him just to make the guy make tough shots, but then that wears him out. And like I said, it's just a lot. The backcourt is the problem, I think, for the Spurs with the Warriors. I really do.
I totally agree.
Okay, let's jump into MJ. MJ been getting, said things to him for years about not speaking out on social events and worldwide events and things. And this past week and a half, he donated $2 million, $1 million apiece to bridge the gap between police and the communities. And then, one of his guys that have a shoe under his brand, Carmelo Anthony, said, hey, it's about time that he stood up and said something because me, LeBron, Chris Paul, Dwayne Wade, all us guys have been speaking out on everything from Tamir Rice to Trayvon Martin to Eric Garner to the two recent guys that got killed. Can't remember their names offhand, but in Louisiana and back in Minnesota. So I just wanted to know what you thought about him donating money to each side and not really taking a stand on either side, kind of putting himself in the middle. What you think about that?
You know what? I think that's another good point because for years MJ has been kind of taking some heat for not really speaking up and not really doing too much to, to voice his opinion on things. And I think with MJ, it was a good look. It really, cause like I said, doing some of the things that he took some heat for not, not speaking up and not doing. But my main concern is that some of the, cops are still going to go kind of off script and rogue and kind of do their own thing. So that's what I'm still, fearful for and that sort of thing. But MJ, I think it was long overdue, and it was a good look on MJ's part to donate the $1 million to each side, like you said, not really choosing a side, just kind of going in on both sides. But I really do think it's a good look. But again, like I said, I'm just scared that some of these cops are still going to go off script and kind of do their own thing, and hopefully it'll get better somewhere here really soon.
Okay, good point. Quick question. I want to throw this out there while we was talking about it. This all started from when he made the comment back in, I believe, in the early 2000s during the Senate race down in Charlotte, down in North Carolina, when Jesse Helms, who had been said to be a racist, a bigot, whatever, Jordan made a comment that he was voting for him. And people asked him why, and Jordan said Republicans buy the sneakers too. So I think a lot of that particular comment is the reason why he's caught the flack that he's been catching over the years about not really standing up for the rights of, let's just call it Black Lives Matters, whatever in the previous years they wanted to call it. I think he didn't take a stand, and he kind of just wanted to play the middle and play the fence because at the end of the day, he's a businessman. Let's just call it he's a businessman. He is numbers, production, bottom line. So I think at the end of the day, he knows that his shoe is the most popular tennis shoe to ever walk this earth. So when you got a lot of different people, different ethnicities, from different backgrounds that all support your shoe, I think in a lot of ways he didn't want to step on anybody's toes. But I think, like you said, with him taking just him having something to say, with him being the most globally recognized athlete maybe ever. I don't think anyone's more globally recognized than Michael Jordan. So with him taking just some sort of stand, it shows you that he is abreast of what's going on and he is on it. He just tends to not want to step on toes by him having, so many different people that he deals with on a daily basis, I think, with the whole Jordan brand and who he is and all that. So I think that has a lot to do with it, too.
Great point.
Okay, let's jump into NFL training camp. We're just going to overall talk about it, and then we'll come back and jump into your team. How do we take a break? So let's just talk about the training camp as a whole, not specifically focus on the Vikings just yet. But what do you think? What are you looking forward to in training camps, and what you're looking forward to as far as some of the things you're looking to see from some of the teams this year outside of the team that you support yourself?
A few things. I'm looking forward to see how Jordy Nelson's gonna come back for Aaron Rodgers. We all know that was his big go-to man with the Green Bay Packers. I'm looking forward to that. I like the two rookie quarterbacks out in St. Louis, out in Philadelphia, Wentz and Goff. Looking to see how they kind of establish themselves, and if the coaches let them go since week one or kind of ease them in. Looking forward to see how Philly kind of regroups after Chip kind of destroyed the organization a little bit. To me, it's kind of I'm looking for a lot, man. I'm looking to see how Big D handles Tony Romo keep getting hurt every year. So I'm looking for a lot. I like, some people don't really like training camp, but I'm the type that I like just watch every team, see how they doing that thing.
I agree with that. I like to see everything that's going on too. I've been peeking at the DeAndre Hopkins store. He left camp wanting more money, and I was telling my buddy yesterday on Friday night. I was telling him, we were discussing at dinner just how DeAndre Hopkins had the third most catches, third most yards in football last year with average quarterback play. And you look at what he's doing in Houston with nothing really on the offensive side until now, with the addition of Lamar Miller and maybe Osweiler, who's a better quarterback than probably what they've had. But you don't know. He's got a small sample size. I told people, you look at them, they paid Rick Smith, the GM, got an extension. They gave Whitney Merciless, an extension, a defensive end who benefited greatly from a J.J. Watt being so great on the other side. And they also paid a couple of their linemen. I'm saying you're paying all the guys, and why can't he get paid? Because his contract is chump change compared to what the top receivers in football are getting. And if you look at his numbers the last 3 years, he is a top 10 receiver. And it's like he's being paid top 20 money. And he's sitting there saying, so he walked out of camp yesterday, but then I read today that he did return because he has a $445,000 roster bonus due Wednesday. And if he isn't in camp 48 hours prior, he doesn't get it. So I think his agent probably said, go back so you can get that bonus, and then we'll work on trying to get you a deal, because the bonus does not take place unless he's there 2 days before the bonus is supposed to kick in, which would be tomorrow. So he showed up today, I heard, back at camp. So that's a story I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm also looking forward to seeing teams like the Jaguars and teams that are trying to up and come in their division and have talent. And I want to see if they can overtake the Andrew Lucks of the world. And I want to see if the Jets or the Bills or the Dolphins can take advantage of Tom Brady being suspended for 4 weeks. I don't think they will, because I think people understand the Patriots play 1 road game and 3 home games while he's out. They'll win the 3 home games. Bill Belichick, too good a coach, and they'll still be there when Brady gets back. So I just tell people you can count. Don't get your hopes up that they're going to fall off. They're not. They'll be right there when it's all said and done. They're too good. They're just well-run. They're a well-run organization, you know.
Yeah, I agree. To take back off that Anthony Hopkins thing, I kind of felt like the GMs keep saying, yeah, we don't negotiate on when the person got 2 years left, and you keep harping on that. But my thing is, I'm not saying he's J.J. Watt, but you did it for J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt, I think, had either 2 or 3 years left on his contract, and you renegotiated. So like you said, you can't renegotiate with Hopkins, where he's a top 10 receiver, easy in the league.
Exactly. You're right. And they're playing musical chairs at quarterback. He never complained. They were musical chairs every week. He didn't know who was going to be in there from quarter to quarter, not game to game. They were so bad at quarterback. They were switching quarterbacks out quarter to quarter, and this guy was still making plays. You gotta pay a guy that does that. That comes, bring his hard hat, and don't complain. You gotta take care of that guy. You got to. Yes.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
All right, we have a good convo here. We're gonna take a break from the POV Sports Show. We'll be right back after these messages. Thank you.
They got the protest signs. They talking about the 3 strikes you out. They talking about the welfare reform. They talking about the incarceration rates that's a result of his policies.
I just told you it was a bloody shirt in the money. Just public. All you gotta do is go look it up. I didn't come here to find out what you think.
I'm just asking.
No, you didn't. You say you thought it. I'm not interviewing you. You interviewing me. I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
But you gonna do it. I respect who you gonna be. So don't sit here and tell me you thought it was the Sony thing. What was the Sony thing about? Tell my grandmother.
Well, my understanding was that he was gonna get the Beatles catalog.
He already had it.
Okay.
He bought the Beatles catalog when his people told him don't buy it. He bought it for $48 million. When they killed him, it was worth $2.5 billion. Well, stuff go on in your house I don't know nothing about. There's a persona out there I don't know nothing about. When we sitting here with respect to one, I don't want to hear what you thought. I saw the check, nigga. So I got to sit here and what you thought. Who cares? That's all I'm saying.
I understand.
And then what they didn't know when they came out with the will, his 3 children's name was misspelled.
So
the day he was supposed to have signed it.
So it's a fake will.
It's a fake will. That's what I'm saying. Okay? That's all. And so if I was over there and you just said, well, what role did Sony play? No, you didn't say that. I thought I'm not here because of what you think.
Okay.
Does Sony have anything?
Okay, I'll ask.
No, you don't have to ask that. I don't care.
No, I'll phrase better with the.
No, I'm saying it's already. You already said it, And you ain't gonna stop that overnight. And I don't want you to stop it overnight, There's people listening to me that's cleansed when you said what you said, Because we know.
Listen to Knowledge Talk, where history, social issues, culture, and politics are discussed weekdays from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. only on It's Yours Radio Live.
I'd like to welcome you back to the POV Sports Show. We got my guy Jermaine Murray here, former Delaware State guard. He'll join the show today and giving us good feedback on a host of various topics. We're going to jump right back in, and we're going to go right with we know he's a Minnesota Vikings fan, and I just wanted to know what he thought of their season last year, winning the NFC NFC North Division, and I also know that with them being a team on the rise, having AP as their centerpiece and opening that new beautiful stadium, that's U.S. Bank Stadium in downtown Minneapolis. I want to know what he thought of the addition of Laquan Treadwell to add to Stephon Diggs and Rudolph to help the development of a young Teddy Bridgewater. And I'm just going to throw some more stuff out there, and then you can jump in once I'm done. I expect Cordell Patterson to break out. I've been hearing reports of him being super focused, and they're saying from OTAs to minicamp to now, he hasn't been this focused since he's been in the league. And we know the talent is there. We just been waiting on him to put it all together. Mike Zimmer came out and said the other day he's never seen Cordero as focused to make the roster and to be more than just a kick returner. The defense is stout with the likes of Everson Griffin, Sharif Floyd, Anthony Barr, Harrison Smith, and my favorite player on their team is Linval Joseph, the guy that no one talks about. Zimmer's a great coach. I think he's the best. I think he's the best disguise of defense in football. He's just a leader of men. When you see him, you see a leader. So I just wanted to know your thoughts on your team and some of the stuff I threw out there. I know you got other stuff you probably want to throw out, but I just figured I have my ducks in order, so when you came with it, I wouldn't look like I was in the blue.
Man, I tell you what, bro. I was gonna ask you, were you a Vikings fan, man? Because you sound great naming all that stuff you just named, man. That was great. You hit everything on the head, man. I'm definitely looking for Treadwell and Stephon to break out again. I like Treadwell, man, and with CC Chris Carter mentoring him from day one. I think the sky's the limit for this guy, man. I really do. My only concern with my offense is Bridgewater. His deep ball touch is really not where I think an NFL caliber deep ball should be. But I mean, once he figured that out and put the right amount of air onto the ball and the right amount of touch on the ball to get it out there, I think once he start connecting with Stephon downfield, man, the sky's the limit for that offense. We all know what AP gonna give us. He's just a monster in the backfield. So that goes without saying. I like our tight end Rudolph. I definitely I'm with you on Cordell. I just think we got so many weapons now, man. It's time for him to show and prove. Because when he came out of Tennessee, he was kind of raw. So we knew it was gonna take a little while for him to kind of get his feet wet. But now I think third year, I think this is. I think it's time for him to really show and prove. But like we was talking about during the commercial, I'm in love with my defense, man. Because for years, my defense has been Swiss cheese. We couldn't make an interception. We couldn't tackle. We didn't know what we was doing, and we brought in a guy like Zim, who I think Cincinnati can let him go or not re-sign him every day. We brought him in. He's completely changed the culture with Anthony Barr and Kendricks and Harrison Smith and them boys, man. They just ready to play good football. And I'm looking forward to our draft pick from last year, Trey Wayne, coming in at the corner position opposite my homeboy from Florida State. And those two on them corners, man, really shutting it down pretty good. So I'm loving our stadium from what the pictures I done saw, on the internet and when I get sent to my phone and computer. I'm loving it because when we was outdoors, we just didn't look comfortable outside. Even though you might say, "Yeah, man, y'all in Minnesota, that sounds pretty crazy," but I just don't think our team was built for outdoors. They just didn't seem comfortable playing in those kind of weather conditions. Whereas when you went Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers just seemed to just flourish when it's cold outside. Us, we just didn't really it looked to me like we were comfortable, especially coming from the dome all these years and then coming, a season and a half outside. We just didn't really look comfortable at all. But now that we're back inside at that beautiful stadium, I think the sky's the limit. Another NFC North championship, I think, is definitely in the goals of things this season.
I agree with that. I think the only team in the division that can give you trouble is Green Bay because of Aaron Rodgers and because of just they have talent. They have enough, but I think Green Bay is missing something on defense. I agree with you. Xavier Rhodes and Trey Waynes, I think they're going to be one of the top 5 corner tandems in football. I watched Trey Waynes at Michigan State, physical, athletic, good ball. He has better ball skills than most guys who've been in the league 10 years. I watched him make interceptions at Michigan State, and you sit there and go, how did he make that play? He didn't even see the ball, and he went up and just grabbed it. It's just his ability to make plays on the ball would really set him apart, I thought, at Michigan State. He's a gambler, but he makes plays. And I think with him and Rhodes manning those corners and a hitter like Harrison Smith, who has got great range as well, I think Minnesota's defense with the front 7 is dominant. That front 7 can flat out own an offense. The issue was the back end. Now they've shored that up, and I just think overall the schedule fits out very nicely. I see them going like 12-4, 11-5 again. I really do. I just think the schedule fits them perfectly. I think Bridgewater throws a good deep ball. I think being outdoors in that weather, he never had a chance to play indoors. Now with the dome with them moving back into a dome and a retractable roof, I think you'll see the ball come out of his hand a little bit better. You'll see him more confident. I think he got a little stronger too, because he was a little thin little guy. So I think he got a little stronger. I think he just needs more time. I think in a lot of ways he played in the offense at Louisville that played fast and played like a spread offense. Zim isn't going to do that. Zim is NFL, pro set. We're going to play football the way football is played. And I think that was an adjustment for him as well. So I think drafting him was a really good move, because I think he has the it factor. I watched him a lot last year, minus that Arizona game where he fumbled at the end. Arizona outplayed them all game. He brought them all the way back. You know what I mean? He brought them all the way back.
You're right. They really outplayed us. No doubt about it. They outplayed us.
And that fourth quarter, he made every throw you want an NFL quarterback to make under pressure. With them blitzing every down, Arizona bring pressure every play. They don't sit back. They come after you every down.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
That was the game to me that made me go, okay, he is official. And I knew he was official in college when the guy from Florida hit him. I think Morrison hit him under his chin, and he got up and didn't do nothing but went back and threw a touchdown the next play. I said, this dude is tough. Then the one thing, with the toughness, the way he grew up, living out of a car for a while, and living with his coach, he had a rough upbringing. I think a lot of that is the reason why he fits Minnesota so well. That's a hard-nosed city, tough. They work hard, they blue collar, and I think he fits them. He looked like it because he was a small guy. But I think now they're starting to see this guy's the future. Adrian Peterson's the guy, but as Adrian Peterson starts to fade out, this guy's going to be the guy to get us to the next level,
I totally agree, man. And piggybacking, man, that hit was crucial. He took it to Florida, man. I mean, I didn't know how he even got up. Like you say, he came out the next play and did his thing, but that hit was like, oh, my God, this kid, bring out the stretcher, man. This kid is not getting up.
Yes, that's when I said, okay, this kid has all the guts that you need to play at the next level. And I thought in the Seattle playoff game he played well enough for them to win. I thought they just made a lot of silly mistakes at the end.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Without a doubt. The fumble, we can blame the kicker for missing that chip shot, but let's be real. If AP would have had onto that ball and then the fumble, we would have ran the clock out and it would have been a different game.
Seattle couldn't even believe they won. They were sitting there shocked they won. They know how they won.
Absolutely. So we can't.
They were like, what, we won? Even Richard Sherman, he fell down on his knees like, how did we win this game? Being like, really?
So we can sit here and blame that kicker for missing that kick, but if AP didn't fumble that ball, we wouldn't be talking about the kicker not missing that kick.
I agree 100%. Okay, let's jump into a little baseball. ML pennant races are heating up. We have a couple of moves, big moves on some teams that are World Series contenders, with the Indians adding Andrew Miller, the closer from the Yankees. They also went after Brewers catcher Jonathan LaCroix, but he had a veto right in his trade. He had a right to veto a trade. He decided to veto his trade and stay in Milwaukee. He doesn't want to play for the Indians. We have the Cubs adding closer Aroldis Chapman from the Yankees as well. My Nationals, I'm a D.C. guy. They added Mark Melicone, another great closer from the Pirates. And the San Francisco Giants, another championship contender, they added infielder Eduardo Nunez from the Minnesota Twins. All four teams are definitely World Series contenders, and then you have all of them with some of the best records in baseball. The Cubs sit at 62-41, the Nats at 61-43. The Rangers are the leaders of the AL West at 61-44. You have the Giants at 60-44. They lead the NL West. And you have the Indians, who are in first place in the NL Central, 59-42. Blue Jays overtook the Orioles yesterday at 59-45. Orioles at 58-45. Then you have the Dodgers, who have 58 wins as well, 58-46 right after the Giants in their division. So you have 8 teams with 58 wins or more in baseball. I just want to know what you thought about the pennant. What teams are you keep following it, and what teams do you think have the best shot to hold up the World Series trophy in October?
Well, speaking from a Braves fan, I'm a diehard Atlanta fan. I'm sorry.
They got Matt Kemp yesterday.
It can't be your Nats, man. I can't. I'd rather any other team win it than your Nats, but I can't lie. Your Nats look real good. They look very, very good. You know what? I like Toronto, man. I don't know why. I know they lost David Price. I know they lost a few other pieces, but I feel like Toronto got from 1 to 9. Their lineup is just nasty with Tulo and Donaldson and Encarnacion and them boys, man. But once you get to October baseball, man, that I always feel like the hottest team out is the one that usually gets the job done. And I did like the Dodgers, but Puig to me is his head don't seem to be on straight. We got major talent, but he's not focused all the time. Then you add in the Kershaw injury and his back, and you just never know when that thing gonna flare up again. He got to be on the shelf again. So I kind of like Toronto, man. I don't know why, but like I said, their lineup is stacked. But I just think they're gonna pick right up where they left off in the playoff last year. I really do.
I agree. I like Toronto too. I like Jay Happ. He's filled in admirably with the David Price departure. Right now he would be the AL Cy Young Award winner, and I believe in the NL it'd probably be Stephen Strasburg if the season ended today from the Nats based on numbers with Kershaw. Kershaw was going to probably win it based on. It's not about wins. It's about his effect on the game. And I thought Kershaw had the most effect, but with him being hurt and missing his time and maybe missing the rest of the year, what they're saying is more the injury is a little more serious than they thought. I think the Dodgers will begin to taper off. I think the Giants are always the team to deal with because it's an even year and they've won the World Series the last 3 even years. So,
and if you think nobody talks about the Giants.
No one talks about it. Team. No one talks about it every year. Nope, no one brags about it. All they do is win. They know what it takes in September and October. They know how to win. So,
yep, absolutely.
I think the Cubs and the Nationals are more talented, but they haven't proven they can win when the chips are up. This team never has. This team, none of their World Series was the most talented team. Every time they were, in my opinion, the least talented team in the World Series. But they got timely hitting. They have pitching that you always PV, Bumgarner. Them guys are always clutch in October. It's something about them. They may not look great all year, but something about Bruce Bochy hits a switch, and it's like they turn over a new leaf. And they find ways to win. They always do. You sit there, you go, look at their roster. They really aren't that talented, but they find Buster Posey is a great player. Hunter Pence is a great player. Yeah. Outside of that, they got a lot of guys that are just kind of, solid, not great, but guys that, they don't have a line like the Nats or the Dodgers or the Cubs put on the field, but they find guys that make crucial plays in big moments. And that's why I feel, for my money, being a Nats fan, my pick is still the Giants in a 7-game series against anybody. Until you beat them, I just think in an even year, they're the team to beat. Just my opinion. So
I can't argue with that, bro. Like I said, no one talks about Bruce Bochy and them boys, but at the end of the year, especially on an even year, they seem to be right in the thick of things, man. Then you got a pitcher like Bunky, who not only can pitch you a great game, but also can mash one out the park with the best of them as a pitcher.
He's a good hitter. Yeah, he's a good hitter. Yeah, he's a very good hitter. He's a clutch hitter. Anytime you bring your pitch up in the 9th inning and don't pitch hit for him and let him hit, he getting runs over it. I'm like, what is that? They have a moxie. They have, and I think losing Pablo Sandoval was good for them because he didn't want to be there anymore. He stunk it up with the Red Sox. So it's like, hey, we saved money and we got a better player overall in the guy that they got on first base. Now I forgot his name, but they I think it's Crawford who they put on first base in Sandoval's place. So it's like you look at them and you go, we talking about the Cubs and them trying to make history and win a series for the first time and then forever, and the Nationals trying to break through, and you look at the Rangers and they've been close in the last couple of years. You look at the Indians who have a great manager themselves in Terry Francona. Francona's a great manager from the Red Sox. You look at him and what he's built up there. You look at the Orioles. The Orioles are a good team, but I tell people I don't trust them because the Orioles depend on the home run ball too much. They don't manufacture runs. They get guys on, and unless they hit a home run, they don't drive them in. And I just can't trust a team in October that does that. I can't.
And I'm with it. I'm from the school that good pitching beats good hitting any day of the week. You got a pitcher who's on and can locate the ball and fool these hitters. Your home run total is gonna go way down tremendously. Like you said, with a team like Baltimore, who relies on the home run to win games, that could kick you out of the pennant race like with no problem.
Yep, that's why the Kansas City Royals won the whole thing last year. They had guys that knew how to get timely hits and manufacture runs. Get guys on base and bunt them around. Find guys, sack fly a guy in. They didn't care how they won. They won ugly, and they won the World Series playing that way. You know, that's how you do it.
You got it. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely
cool, man. I want to thank you for coming through, and want to thank you. We want to get you back on soon, man. We had good dialogue. I want to thank Dondre for getting you to get on the show today. We had a good show, and we just want to tell everyone thanks out there, and thank you for tuning into another edition of the POV Sports Show. You can reach me on POV Sports on Twitter, and you can reach me on Devon POV Mason on Facebook, and you can reach me on Devon POV at Instagram if you have any questions or anything you want to bring towards the show. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want to say have a blessed week. God bless you, and we'll talk to you again soon. POV is a help. Want to move POV Sports. My vision is just to move it into the next round with analytics and just giving you different sports that people don't talk about.
Don't nobody come to your house and try to take food off your plate. No. Ball out on 3. 1, 2, 3. Ball out. 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 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Big down.
It Shows Radio Live. The POV Sports Show.